What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another stimulus update. So yesterday, the House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer said on Twitter, and I quote, "The House will vote on Friday on the President of the United States American Rescue Plan to end this pandemic and deliver an urgently needed relief to America's families and small businesses. The American people strongly support this bill, and we are moving swiftly to see it enacted into law." However, that's about where the swift action stops. That's about where the urgency ends. It's simply because right now, what we are all waiting on is, yes, we're waiting on a vote within the House, but the big thing that we're waiting on that we've been hearing for weeks is the Senate parliamentarian has to rule either in favor or against the $15 minimum wage provision. The problem with this is we've been hearing this for multiple days. Honestly, I keep telling you guys we're going to hear this tonight. We're going to see it tomorrow morning. And you guys roast me every single time. And I get it. I understand why. First off, hit that thumbs up button because I thank you for doing that. But you are pointing this out. Congress just keeps lying about what we are potentially going to see. They keep lying to us for whatever reason. We've been hearing for about a week that any day, it's going to happen tonight. It will happen tomorrow. We've been hearing this from Axios. We've been hearing this from CNN, Fox, Politico. Every single one keeps telling us the House or the Senate parliamentarian will rule tonight. Well, according to the reports today, both Axios and Politico are stating we will hear the Senate parliamentarians rule either tonight or tomorrow morning. So, hopefully that's true. Again, I hate telling you that, we're going to hear it tonight, we're going to hear it tomorrow, but that's currently what we are being told based on these reports. So hopefully it does happen, but in the meantime, let's just move on to what we actually know is happening. We are getting multiple new bills on this $15 federal minimum wage increase provision. We are seeing Tom Cotton and Mitt Romney propose a $10 per hour minimum wage provision. We see that Joe Manchin is actually one that is planning on proposing a bill next week for an $11 per hour minimum wage increase as well. And then today we got Senator Josh Hawley, who proposed a minimum wage that would potentially get up to $16.50 in the next 4 years. So we get a lot of these. However, the reason why I don't want to spend too much time on these bills is because at this point they're kind of a waste of time. In a way they are. Now, they're not a big waste of time because they do show there's bipartisan support to increase the minimum wage, but there's no bipartisan support on $15 per hour. The bipartisan support would come under 12. So anywhere between $10 and $12 per hour, we could see bipartisan support here. And I bring this up because if we do see some bipartisan support in this one thing, we could easily just see Democrats say, okay, we're just going to pull this out of the bill. We're not even going to include it in this American Rescue Plan for $1.9 trillion. We will just vote on this as a standalone bill later on, and we will pass this through a bipartisan bill. That's what we're hearing. So we will see when that time comes, if it does. But as of right now, I think even Democrats, even the House, is tired of waiting for the Senate parliamentarian to actually rule in favor of this. Some are saying, okay, and I'm not trying to say this is absolutely true, but I'm not saying it's false. Some are saying, and keep in mind, the Senate parliamentarian is not affiliated with either party. Okay, so she's not biased towards Democrats or to Republicans. But what some are saying, there are multiple reports saying that because we still have to wait for the Senate parliamentarian to rule in favor or against this, and until she rules, I guess we can't move forward. But what some are saying is Republicans could have got in her ear and they could have pretty much asked her, just delay. You don't have to rule, just delay. Delay, 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 and eventually Democrats will just move on and pull it out of the bill themselves. So that's, again, that's speculation, I think, but there are multiple reports saying this exact same thing. And so I think that's crazy that Republicans could have actually bought an additional week because they are trying to get her to just delay. Now, again, I don't know for sure, but that's what multiple reports are saying. But on the same note, as far as the budget reconciliation and getting this passed through the Byrd Rule, what we do know is that many people have asked why Congress can't just go and pass a bunch of standalone bills. Why are they waiting around? Why are they trying to make this perfect bill and get everything in there? Well, it's actually pretty simple. According to multiple reports, Congress won't do multiple standalone bills because they're trying to get this all done under the budget reconciliation. And they only have 9 of those over the next 2 years. If they use, let's say, one and only get half the bill done, then they use another one, so their second budget reconciliation over the second half of the bill. The problem is they could have just done it all in one and saved the other budget reconciliation process. So that's the first reason why. But the second reason why, and I think this is more in line with what is really happening, but the other reason why they don't do this is because they can't agree on who is more important in this bill, who has a higher need for this funding. Is it vaccine funding? Some say it is. Some say that should be the only thing in this bill, is the COVID vaccine funds. Everything else is not important. Then we have others that say the unemployed need the money the most. The people that are on unemployment need not $300, but $400 per week. So they're saying this should be the only bill. Let's do vaccine funding because everybody agrees vaccine funding is the only thing that has bipartisan support. But then let's do that, and let's do $300 per week for the unemployed, an unemployment boost, and do that for an additional, let's say, 15, 16 weeks. Well, you could get bipartisan support there, but then some say, well, we can't leave out the other people. We can't leave out parents and children and the elderly, and we can't leave out those that were unemployed but now do have their job back. We can't leave out schools and states, and they go on and on. Others say that children are the most important, and we need to provide vaccine funding, but we also need to provide funding for schools. We need to provide funding for children through a child tax credit. We've seen some bipartisan support there as well. Mitt Romney, he proposed $4,200 per year for children between ages of 0 and 5, but President Biden and Democrats, they're proposing $3,600. So we're about $600 away, or $50 per month, but it still has bipartisan support. And then some argue that those are important, but the most important people at this time are actually those that were unemployed, now have their job back, but have to pay back all this debt. They went into debt by just trying to provide for themselves and their family over the last so many months. And so they should be receiving some form of a stimulus check. Well, I get it, that's understandable, but this is where we are pretty much standing at a standstill or at an impasse, because right now Democrats and Republicans cannot agree who is more important. Even within the same party, Democrats can't agree. Is it people on unemployment? Is it people that just need additional help? They may have a job, but they have their hours cut, their wages cut, things like that. They're taking on another family member to provide for them during this pandemic and this tough time. Those people need an additional stimulus check. So that's what we're hearing, is everything right now is just a fight. Then we got progressives that are fighting the conservatives and the more moderates within the same party. So right now it's just a mess. But we are hearing that we're getting closer to a deal. And this is one of the reasons why a standalone bill at this time will not happen unless it's for the minimum wage provision. But like Steny Hoyer said, that they are working to urgently deliver relief. Now, if you want to believe this or not, that is completely up to you. Honestly, I think they're trying, but I don't think they're really pushing for it that much. I think there's other things that are just as important to Congress and to the American people. It's just all about stimulus. That is it. So what we do know is that a lot of these proposals right now that Republicans are putting in front and unveiling, the problem is these proposals are actually just meant to slow down the process. And this is why some believe, and there's multiple reports out there, that Republicans got into the ear of the Senate parliamentarian and got her to just delay. because it's buying them more time to potentially put together a better package or put together their own plan to potentially make Democrats look bad for the upcoming midterm election in 2022. So again, it's all just political games at this point. So what I can tell you is that a new proposal out right now is not necessarily a good thing. It could be something bad. It might be beneficial to see where the two parties stand, but right now we know where Democrats are at, and we know Republicans want a very inexpensive package. So that's pretty much what we're going to see, is a huge gap or a huge divide. So as we know more regarding what is actually going on, as we know more regarding who is going to get what, when the Senate parliamentarian actually rules in favor or against the $15 federal minimum wage increase, as we know more, I promise I will come back and update you as soon as possible. What I can tell you right now is there's going to be a lot of fighting. There's going to be a lot of bickering back and forth. We will see a huge debate within the Senate, most likely next week. So that, I promise you, it is going to be very interesting to see what Republicans propose and how Democrats just brush off any proposal, deny it, and move forward. So as we get there, I promise I will update you on all that as well. So I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.